All right. Let's jump into a deep dive on something that could really help you land that dream job.
Ooh, yeah.
Specifically, we're talking about prepping for a CNC machinist interview.
Nice.
So you've put in the time, you've learned how to use the machines,
Right.
but now it's time to really show off what you know and convince someone to hire you.
Yeah, that's the next step, right?
Exactly. So to help us with this, we're going to be looking at an Indeed.com UK article
Okay.
all about interview questions and answers for CNC machinists.
Perfect.
And even if you're not in the UK, don't worry because
Yeah,
the tips in this article are pretty universal.
absolutely.
Right.
It's all about, understanding what employers are looking for.
Yeah, and what's cool about this article is it kind of gives you a peek behind the curtain
Right.
of what interviewers are really looking for, and
Yeah.
some of it might surprise you. It's not just about, being a G-code whiz.
Yeah, you gotta have more than just the technical skills.
Exactly. So the article highlights 3 key areas that interviewers really focus on.
Yeah.
And this is what they really want to see.
All right, I'm ready.
First up, they want to see a solid knowledge of CNC operations.
Okay.
And what's interesting here is they're looking beyond just, pushing buttons.
Right.
They want to see that you understand the whole process.
Yeah, they want to make sure you're not just a button pusher.
Right. You're not just a robot.
Exactly.
You actually get it.
You understand the ins and outs.
Yeah. So what do you think they're looking for there? What does it mean to really understand CNC operations?
Well, I think it's about being able to take a blueprint
Yeah.
and really understand what that design is trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
Then, setting up the machine properly,
Yeah.
making sure all your tools are correct,
Yeah.
and then, of course, executing that program without any errors.
Yeah. So it's like you said, you're connecting the dots from that design,
Right.
the finished part.
Absolutely.
And they want to know that you can do that whole thing.
Yeah, it's that deep understanding that sets a skilled machinist apart from someone who's just learned the basics.
I like that. That's a good way to put it. Okay, so that's number 1.
Uh-huh.
Number 2, the article dives into quality control expertise.
Ah, yes, quality controls.
They really stress that it's not enough to just make parts.
Right.
You've got to make them perfectly,
Consistently,
consistently every single time.
every time.
And this is where your precision measuring tools really come into play.
Absolutely.
Those micrometers, calipers, gauges, all that good stuff.
Yeah, you got to know how to use them and when to use them.
So why is quality control so important to interviewers? Why do they care so much about that?
Well, think about it. CNC machining is all about precision.
Right?
We're talking tiny tolerances.
Yeah.
Often expensive materials.
Mm-hmm.
One small error could mean, you're scrapping an entire part.
Oh, yeah. You're wasting time. You're wasting money.
Exactly. And nobody wants that.
So they want to know that you can use those tools
Yep.
to make sure every part is perfect.
Every single one has to meet those exact specifications.
Yeah. And what's interesting is they emphasize that quality control isn't just like a final step.
No, it's an ongoing process.
It's something you're doing throughout the whole process.
Absolutely. You're constantly checking, measuring, adjusting.
Yeah.
You got to have that meticulous mindset,
You're always double checking.
always.
That's cool. Okay, so we've got knowledge of CNC operations.
Yes.
We've got quality control expertise. And finally, we get to problem solving.
All right, problem solving. This is a big one.
This is where you really get to shine, I think.
Absolutely.
Because we all know that CNC machines aren't perfect.
Right. They can be finicky sometimes.
Things break down. Things go wrong.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen.
Exactly. And the article really stresses how important it is for interviewers to hear about how you've dealt with those tricky situations.
Yeah, they want to hear those stories.
So what kind of stories are we talking about here? What are some examples?
Well, let's say you've got a machine that suddenly starts producing parts that are out of spec.
Okay.
Or maybe a tool breaks mid-operation and you have to think on your feet
Oh, yeah.
to salvage the job.
You got to be creative.
Exactly.
So it's not just about saying, I'm a good problem solver.
Right.
It's about actually telling them a story
Yeah, walk them through it.
and how you handled it.
Exactly. How did you approach the problem? How did you diagnose it? And what was the solution?
I like that. So you're giving them a glimpse into your brain
Right.
of how you actually think and how you approach a challenge.
Exactly. And that shows them that you can stay calm under pressure, which is so important in a machine shop environment.
For sure. Okay, so we've covered those 3 big areas that interviewers are looking for.
Yep. Knowledge of CNC operations
Quality control.
and problem solving.
Now let's get into some specific questions you're likely to hear in that interview
Okay, let's do it.
and how to answer them like a pro.
All right, let's hear those questions.
One that always seems to pop up is, What do you know about CNC programming?
Yes, the classic programming question.
And this is your chance to show off your understanding of how these machines actually work.
Absolutely.
It's more than just knowing what buttons to press.
Right, you got to go deeper than that.
So what do you think is the best way to answer this question?
Well, I think this is where you talk about G code and M code.
Okay.
Those are the languages that tell the machine what to do.
Right. So it's like you're speaking the machine's language.
Exactly. And showing that you understand that language
Yeah.
demonstrates a higher level of expertise.
That makes sense. Okay. So another question you're likely to get is, how do you maintain the quality of machined parts?
Ooh, another good one.
We talked about quality control earlier,
Yeah.
but how do you really nail this answer in the interview?
Well, this is your time to really showcase that attention to detail,
Okay.
that commitment to quality that we were talking about. Remember those precision measuring tools we mentioned?
Oh, yeah.
This is where you name drop the micrometers, calipers, gauges.
Yeah, get specific.
Explain how you use each one to guarantee those tight tolerances.
So you're not just listing tools.
No, you're showing them you understand how to use them properly.
To get that consistent quality.
Exactly. And don't forget to mention machine maintenance as well,
Oh, that's a good point.
because a well-maintained machine is going to produce more accurate parts.
Yeah, that shows you're thinking about the bigger picture.
Absolutely.
Okay, now for a question that lets you tell a story, describe a challenging situation you faced and how you resolved it.
All right, story time.
This is where you can really show off those problem-solving skills in action.
Yeah, give them a real-life example.
So what kind of situation could you talk about here?
Well, the article gives an example of a machine producing out-of-spec parts.
Okay.
Think about a time when you faced a similar challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you had to troubleshoot a program error
Right.
or figure out why a tool was wearing out too quickly.
Yeah.
Walk the interviewer through your process. How did you identify the problem? The steps you took to diagnose it,
Yeah.
and of course the solution.
So again, you're not just saying, I fixed it.
Right.
You're showing them how you think,
Exactly.
how you approach a
By
challenge.
demonstrating those analytical skills.
I love it. Okay, so those are just a few of the questions
Yeah.
that you might encounter in a CNC Machinist interview.
And there are plenty more where those came from.
But we'll save those for next time.
Sounds good.
Mm.
All right, ready for some more questions?
Yeah. Hit me.
Okay, how about this one? Have you ever worked with multi-axis machines?
Okay, yeah, so this is where you can really show off your skills.
All right,
If you've got experience with like 4-axis, 5-axis,
even more.
even more complex machines, definitely highlight that.
Yeah, those are the high-tech stuff.
Yeah, they can do some pretty amazing things.
Oh, yeah,
And being able to use those shows a high level of skill.
for sure.
Yeah.
So think about the challenges you faced when you were working with those machines.
It was unique about those.
Yeah, you're dealing with more complex movements, more intricate parts.
Right.
The programming can be a lot more involved,
Yeah, it's a whole other level.
but the results you can achieve are incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty cool when you see what those machines can do.
Okay, let's move on to software. What kind of software proficiency do you have?
All right, so this is where you just list everything you know.
Yeah, don't be shy.
AutoCAD, SolidWorks, Mastercam,
Fusion 360,
anything and everything you've used.
anything that's relevant.
And think about the different stages of the process, right?
Right,
So you've got design, you've got modeling, you've got programming.
right. Different software for each stage.
Yeah, highlight what you've used in each stage.
And don't forget about G code and M code.
Oh, yeah.
Remember we talked about that?
The language of the machine.
Exactly. If you can program those codes, that's a huge plus.
Yeah. It's like you're fluent.
It really is.
Okay, here's one that's really important. How do you ensure accurate calculations when you're setting up a job?
Ooh, this is all about precision.
Yeah, attention to detail.
Yeah, so how do you double check your measurement?
Yeah, how do you make sure everything is perfect
How do you understand those tolerances?
before you even touch the machine?
Right, because one small error can have a big impact.
Oh, yeah.
You could end up with a part that's completely out of spec.
Or you could damage the machine.
Or even worse, you could hurt yourself.
Yeah, safety first.
So they want to see that you take those calculations very seriously.
Absolutely. Okay, let's talk about improvement. Can you describe a time when you optimized a process?
Yeah. Have you ever made things run more smoothly?
Everyone loves an efficiency expert.
Right.
So think about a time when you improved a machining process. Maybe you found a way to reduce waste,
Or speed up production.
improve accuracy.
Yeah, anything like that.
And if you can quantify that impact, that's even better.
Yeah, did you reduce scrap rates by a certain percentage?
Did you increase output?
Those numbers really stand out.
Okay, next question. How do you handle pressure?
Ah, the pressure question.
Because, let's be real, pressure is a part of life in a machine shop.
It comes with the territory.
Tight deadlines, unexpected problems.
Last-minute changes.
Yeah, it can get a little crazy.
So they want to know that you can handle it.
So how would you answer that question?
Think about a time when things got really hectic.
Okay.
A rush order came in. A machine went down.
Right before a deadline.
How did you stay focused? How did you prioritize your tasks?
What was your process?
Did you communicate with your team?
Yeah, you got to be a team player.
Right.
Okay, next one. What types of materials have you worked with?
Okay, so this is where you show your versatility.
Metals, plastics, composites.
The more the merrier.
Yeah, list everything.
And think about how you had to adjust your techniques to work with each material.
Do you have to change cutting speeds? Different tools.
Yeah.
Okay, last one in this rapid fire round. How do you stay up to date on the latest trends in CNC machining?
Ah, yes. Staying ahead of the curve.
This is a good one because the CNC world is constantly changing.
It really is.
New software, new machines, new techniques.
So how do you stay informed?
Do you subscribe to any industry magazines?
Attend conferences or webinars.
Take online courses?
Maybe you follow industry experts on social media.
Yeah, there are a lot of resources out there.
You gotta be a lifelong learner.
Exactly. Okay, so we've covered a lot of those rapid-fire questions.
Yeah, we did.
But there's more to this article than just the questions.
Right.
It also talks about the working conditions.
Ah, yes, the shop floor environment.
What's it actually like to work in a CNC shop?
Right, because it's not just about the skills.
You got to be prepared for the environment.
Exactly.
And the article describes it as safety-focused,
Which is good.
which is great, but it can also be physically demanding.
Yeah, you're on your feet a lot.
You're lifting heavy things.
Working with loud machinery.
And shift work is pretty common.
Yeah, those late nights and early mornings.
So it's not for everyone.
No, definitely not.
But if you like to work with your hands,
If you like to solve problems,
if you like to make things,
it can be a really rewarding career.
I agree. Okay, so the article also talks about software again.
Yeah, those CAD/CAM programs.
But they also highlight something that I think is really important.
What's that?
Math skills.
Oh, yeah. You can't forget about math.
Because you might think, well, the computer does all the calculations.
Right.
But it's not that simple.
No, you still need to understand the basics.
Math is the foundation of CNC machining.
Absolutely.
Whether you're reading blueprints,
Calculating angles.
understanding feed rates,
You're going to be using math all the time.
trigonometry,
Yeah.
geometry, algebra, you need it all.
It all comes into play.
So the article talks about the different ways that people get into CNC machining.
Mm-hmm.
They mention that a high school diploma is often enough for entry-level positions, but having some post-secondary training, like a certificate or an associate degree,
Yeah, that can give you a real leg up.
it shows that you're serious.
Absolutely.
And then there are apprenticeships,
Oh, yeah, those are great.
which are a fantastic way to learn on the job
Real-world experience.
and get some classroom instruction, too.
The best of both worlds.
Yeah, so you're working with experienced machinists.
You're learning from the pros.
You're getting paid.
It's a win-win.
So there are multiple paths you can take.
Yep, lots of options.
And once you've got some experience under your belt, there are lots of different career paths you can pursue.
That's what I love about this field,
So you could specialize in a particular type of machining
like multi-axis machining.
or Swiss type machining.
Right.
You could move into a supervisory role.
Lead a team.
Or if you're really good at programming,
Mm-hmm.
you could become a CNC programmer.
Yeah, that's a great option.
Write the programs that run the machines.
That's where the real magic happens.
So there's a lot of room for growth in this field.
Absolutely. As long as you're willing to learn and keep up with the latest technologies.
I like that. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground with this article.
We have.
But you know what I think is really interesting?
What's that?
It's not just about giving you the right answers.
Right.
It's about getting you to think about what you bring to the table.
Ooh, that's a good point.
What are your unique skills?
It makes you stand out.
Yeah, what are those things that aren't necessarily on your resume?
Right.
Maybe you have a passion for restoring vintage machinery.
Ooh, that's cool.
Maybe you built your own CNC machine.
That's impressive.
Maybe you're an expert in a particular material.
Or a specific machining process.
Those are the things that can really make you stand out.
Yeah, those are the things that make you memorable.
And you know something else that can really set you apart?
What's that?
Doing your research on the company
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
before the interview.
Always be prepared.
Because imagine being able to talk about a project they're working on
Mm-hmm.
that you find interesting.
Yeah. that shows you've done your homework.
Or explain how your skills align with their needs.
It's like you're saying, I'm not just looking for any job.
Right.
I want this job.
I want to work here.
For these reasons.
It shows that you're genuinely interested.
And that you've taken the time to learn about their company.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to wrap up this section, we've talked about those technical must-haves.
The skills you need to know.
We've talked about those soft skills.
Those are important too.
That can make you stand out.
Absolutely.
And we've also talked about the importance of research.
And showcasing your unique strengths.
But before we move on,
Okay.
I want to leave you with one final thought.
All right. I'm listening.
An interview is a two-way street.
Ooh. That's a good way to put it.
It's not just about them evaluating you.
Right.
It's also about you evaluating them.
You're interviewing them too.
So as you're going through the interview process, pay attention to the questions they ask.
Yeah.
How they describe the company culture.
The vibe you get.
Do you feel like you could see yourself working there?
That's important.
Are they a company that values its employees?
Do they offer opportunities for growth?
Do their values align with yours?
Those are all great questions to consider.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about finding that right fit.
For you.
For you and for your goals.
So don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, get a sense of what it would be like to actually work there.
All right, so to all those future CNC masters out there.
Yeah, get out there.
We've given you a lot of information today.
A lot to think about.
But hopefully you feel more prepared now.
More confident.
To go out there and ace that interview.
Yeah, go get them.
And remember, it's not just about giving the right answers.
Right.
It's about showing your passion.
Your enthusiasm.
Your expertise.
Yeah, let them see your love for CNC machining.
Show them why you're the best candidate for the job.
And why you're excited to be there.
Exactly. So good luck out there, everyone.
We're rooting for you.
And let us know how it goes.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your success stories.
Yeah. All right, that's it for our deep dive today.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time.